You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
What's up, Black and White sports fans? John Midget here, and I am back with another video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Also, check out the join button for channel memberships. And check out the merch. And when you get your merch, make sure you use the discount code TommyGoat. Just for the next 3 days after today, we're going to give you 12% off if you use that discount code in honor of number 12. Let's get into this, folks. I've been putting out videos here talking about the bad takes from the Tom Brady haters. The Tom Brady haters club, man, it is real. It is absolutely real, folks, and it has been exposed ever since Tom Brady actually won his 7th Super Bowl. But, folks, this one we're going to be talking about today may actually be the worst take of them all. The worst of them all. I've talked about Nick Wright. I've talked about Shannon Sharp. I talked about Rob Parker earlier this morning here. I haven't talked about Matt Kellerman yet. Not until now, folks. His Tom Brady hate. You know, he's one of those guys that's actually going to give a slight at Tom Brady when it comes to him being the GOAT. But a question was asked today about which quarterback had the most impressive postseason run ever. And Matt Kellerman said Eli Manning. I mean, folks, this take was so bad that Marcus Spears gave this look on his face like, what the hell are you saying, Matt Kellerman? Are you being serious about this? Now, folks, we know that Eli had a couple of magical runs, and that's all they were. They were magical runs. That's pretty much it. Eli Manning was fine in those playoffs. He was fine. But I believe he's going to be most remembered for, the helmet catch, which was a completely lucky catch. Even when the Super Bowl was out here, when Tom Brady had that massive comeback against Atlanta, when he was down 28-3, Eli Manning admitted it was just pure luck. And that's all it was. Now, the Mario Manningham catch, that was a great throw. That was one of the best throws in Super Bowl history. But looking at those two runs, there's no way in the world that can actually be up there with Joe Montana. What Joe Montana did in 1989. I'm going to get to the stats after we actually listen to what Matt Kellerman said here. So let's go ahead and roll the tape.
Let's get to the GOAT and all his 7 rings, considering all the storylines, leaving his coach, Foxborough, etc. Then beats Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes on his way to another championship. Max, do you feel like this was the best playoff run ever by a quarterback when we consider all the circumstances?
It would be if there was no such thing as Eli Manning, but clearly and by far, both of Eli's runs were better than Brady's this year. Clearly and by far. Let's start with the first one in 07-08, right? That run started on the road. And by the way, Eli, both times, had to go on the road the whole way. Not like Tom Brady, who got to host the Super Bowl. Eli was truly on the road the whole time. Game 1. Look, he didn't get to face a 7-9 team with Heineke as the quarterback, who was okay. He faced a 9-7 team with Jeff Garcia as the quarterback, who was a solid NFL quarterback with a real career as a starter behind him. Like, Eli's first round, 9-7, was tougher than Tom Brady's. Next round, you can look at Drew Brees and go, oh my God, the name on the resume. But guys, Drew Brees was no longer the great Drew Brees. Let's be honest. The Tony Romo that Eli had to face and beat at Dallas was a better quarterback that year than Brees was this year, who was also coming off of shattered ribs, a punctured lung, the whole thing. That's just a fact. Also, his team won 13 games. And then Eli goes up to Lambeau and beats Brett Favre at Lambeau when Brett Favre was still a great player, and then finishes it off. Who's the GOAT? Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady, in his best season, clearly and by far, with Randy Moss on the team, they were undefeated. Had they won that game, they were going to be universally accepted as the greatest team in the history of American team sports. Forget about the 27 Yankees. Forget about the 72-win Chicago Bulls. It was going to be the Patriots, and Eli beat that team. I'm sorry. Not as a 3-point underdog who really should have been favored, not because the line was all banged up, because he came up with clutch play after clutch play. I'll save 2011, which was also better, by the way. Alex Smith in San Francisco for a 13-win team. Aaron Rodgers with a 15-win team at Green Bay, and then Tom Brady again in the Super Bowl. Those are the two greatest postseason runs ever. And then comes Tom Brady this year.
Molly, tell me what you want me to say. Like, what?
I just want you to give me
about?
your visceral reaction to what you just heard.
I just
speak
don't,
your mind. Speak from the heart.
Max, I'm praying that you're not doing this just because I'm on the show.
You better speak from the heart.
I'm praying that this is not just to get me worked up, because I know sometimes you know how to push my buttons, and but I'm gonna fall for it because you are out of your damn mind. You have lost it.
So there you have it, guys. Matt Kellerman choosing Eli Manning over the many great quarterback performances throughout pretty much Super Bowl history. Okay, he chose Eli Manning with the two greatest QB runs in Super Bowl history. Folks, you can't make this up. Now, I'm not saying Eli wasn't good. In that 2007 Super Bowl, which I believe he actually had number one, Eli completed 60.5% of his passes, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 95.7 QB rating. That does not scream the best QB run of all time. It doesn't. I mean, if you go to his contemporary, Joe Flacco actually had a better run back in 2012. Joe Flacco completed about 58% of his passes. He had 1,140 yards, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 9.0 yards per attempt, and a 117.2. I mean, Flacco was amazing doing that run. We know that Flacco's not a great quarterback. We know that. But for the postseason, that was one of the top ones right there. That was better than Eli's. That was better than both of Eli's, if you ask me. Let's go Joe Montana. Joe Montana, 1989. Joe Montana completes 78.3% of his passes. 800 yards, 9.6 yards per attempt. 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and get this, folks, a 146.4 QB rating. That is light years better than Eli Manning. It's not even really a debate if you ask me. Also, my boy, Troy Aikman, 1992, completed 68.5% of his passes, about 800 yards, 8.9 yards per attempt, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 126.4 QB rating. And Troy Aikman was amazing in the Super Bowl, throwing 4 touchdown passes, no picks, and was Super Bowl MVP. Aaron Rodgers, we can even go to his run too. Aaron Rodgers, when he won his one Super Bowl, he completed 68% of his passes, almost 1,100 yards, 8.3 yards per attempt, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks, and a 109.8 QB rating. Aaron Rodgers was clearly better than Eli Manning during his postseason run. I mean, I can go on and on and on. What Eli did, yeah, it was a miracle, but it wasn't, the best QB run of all time. I haven't even talked about Tom Brady. What Tom Brady did in that comeback against Atlanta, they were down 28-3. I don't know if there was any QB in history that could have come back from that kind of a deficit in the Super Bowl with a quarter and a half left. But he is the GOAT, and he locked it down and brought them all the way back. Tom Brady was amazing. Amazing. But Matt Kellerman believes that Eli Manning had the best postseason run of all time. No. This is all the hate for Tom Brady, because Molly asked Matt if Tom Brady had the best postseason run ever. I mean, he slayed Drew Brees, he slayed Aaron Rodgers, and he slayed Patrick Mahomes. Two of those guys, the media wants to tell you is the GOAT. I guess they've given up on Aaron Rodgers because they got a nice new shiny toy in Patrick Mahomes, and Tom Brady took him out too. He's taken them all out, folks. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. I don't even know if Matt even really believes this. Maybe he was just trying to have another slight at Tom Brady, but this had to be the worst take ever, man. I just named all these other quarterbacks that had better Super Bowl runs than Eli Manning. And Tom Brady, what he did this year, he was on the road for every playoff series. Granted, the Super Bowl was in his own house, but however, he did something that nobody has ever done. No team has ever hosted and played the Super Bowl in their home stadium. Maybe that was a bit of motivation, for Tom Brady to actually go to the Buccaneers because he knew that Super Bowl would be there. But Tom Brady had no offseason, none whatsoever. Really no rapport, no chemistry with his receivers. And he went to the Buccaneers, the worst winning percentage in all of the four major sports. And they went from a joke to Super Bowl champions in 1 year. No way in hell Eli Manning could ever do that. Eli Manning could never come back 28-3. Eli Manning is just not that dude. He's not. Eli Manning really is just a guy. He may get in the Hall of Fame, even though I don't believe that he should be in. And Rhodes actually agrees with me on that too. We're on the same page on that. Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer. Eli Manning's runs were good. He was actually solid, but during the 2007 season, that was talking about him actually getting benched. And that's the truth, folks. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Matt Kellerman giving his worst take ever. Choosing Eli Manning over Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, 1992. This is ridiculous, folks. Ridiculous. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.